Hello everyone. I haven't done a makeup tutorial for a long time, but I felt it very appropriate to resurrect the tutorials for this occasion. See what I did there. So today I'm going to do a look that I think all of us need to try once in our life, especially because I'm coming up to 33, and that is the Jesus look. Now, you have to be careful with this, and I don't want you all to get worried about it, but you've got to use quality products. So if you see me using things I wouldn't normally use, not from the pound shop, it's just because I was thinking the whole time, WWJD, what would Jesus do? So I'm going to start with a Clinique, and this is like, I'm going to use a bronzing, I need to know what one this is, I don't know, bronzer, because obviously we're going for like the Middle East vibe, and you've been out in the desert for, so we just want to, this one blends quite well with my actual skin tone, so quite wholesome, and I'm just going to give all over coverage for that healthy bronzed look. Yeah, as I was saying, because he's been in the Middle East, he's been in the jungle maybe for, not in the jungle, sorry, he's not on I'm a Celebrity, but you want that glossy, you know, 30 days, 30 nights in the desert look. Sorry, maybe 3 years, whatever multiple of 3 that you've been travelling around for in the desert. Remember, Jesus was pre-suntan, so lotion, so you're going to get this great dark shade, but I'm going quite subtle with this Clinique today. Now, to add to that, I'm going to now contour my face, because as we know, Jesus had this beautiful cheek structure from all the religious iconography we've seen. So I'm going to use this great copper shine here, which is from Cosmetics a la carte, which incidentally went bust around the time of Jesus. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit and I'm just going to contour up the cheek like that, and there. And as you can see, that's very subtle, and this is sort of exactly the kind of base that we need to be working with, because this is what Jesus would have looked like originally after his stint in the desert, or hanging on a cross in the noonday sun. To quote Noel Coward, only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, or Jesus on a cross. So there we go. So this is what we're working with. So we might just add a bit of the bronze for that holier than thou sheen on the complete face. Do you know what? I don't think that's enough. Don't be scared to go a tiny bit around all the main. If you think you've got a bit too much on, remember, you know, we are in the Middle East, and you know, you've been on holiday Tel Aviv on the beach for a while, living it up with your mates, with your boy pals, and so you're going to look a bit like this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is concentrate on the lips. Now, I am going to use what am I going to use? And also, I don't want historians contacting me saying like this is inaccurate. He would probably just have borrowed Mary Magdalene's, and sluts have great taste in lip gloss. So actually, I'm going to use an Yves Saint Laurent lip pen here. And this is in a number 2, which is a great colour. And you have to be subtle with Jesus' lip line. I like to do a big lip line, you know. This is a great bloody colour, which is very appropriate. Just being kissed by the wrong disciple. Perfect. So that's great, and I think I might top it off just with a little dark lip gloss, also from Yves Saint Laurent, just to make it a bit more subtle and a bit more shiny. Because as you know, Jesus was a public speaker, so you've got to draw attention to your luscious lips. That's great, I think. Perfect. So the next most important thing with Jesus is the eyes, and we've all read a lot about Jesus' eyes and how magnetic they are, and he was, and he still is. I've heard on good repute that lots of good Catholic boys have their first wet dream of Jesus because they spend ages staring at his naked nubile body on a cross. So anyway, we're going to do a white eyeliner here. And this just makes the whole eye pop more, especially against the dark complexion. And it also gives that slightly watery eye, especially if we jab a little bit. that is great to give a sort of sympathetic air to any talking we're doing, or, you know, if we're doing some hanging on the cross or some resurrecting, it's nice to have that sort of likability factor. Sorry, this was just from the Body Shop, this one here. It's a great not tested on animals, which I think Jesus would have approved of. And I'm just getting my NARS palette out here, and just with these great white, shimmery whites, which are quite pearly. Just lick that, which is great. And I'm just going to brush a bit on the top, because as remember, we're going back a good 1,000 years, and so I'm only using products that use things like cochineal or pearl dust, which would have been available at the time. You know, as Jesus' mother, a bit of lapis lazuli ground up makes a great eye. I think that's okay. You know, Jesus, he was a guy, so he didn't wear much makeup, but in the glare of the limelight as a public speaker, and going to court and being represented, you've got to bring it, as Jesus said. I'm also just going to finish off with this amazing product, which is by Becca, and it is a Gypsy Dust, Gypsy Tramp and Thieves, Friends of Jesus. I'm just going to get a bit of this, it's in pink shimmer, and just do it in the corner of the eye, and you'll see it just springs out, just right around there. It just draws the attention against the eyes, gives you a sympathetic look, especially if you go slightly down at the edge. Don't make yourself look like a sad dog. Jesus is not an animal. He was a powerful, sexy being. But you know, there's nothing wrong with looking a bit vulnerable, especially on Crucifixion Day. Brilliant. So, the last thing we're going to do is, which is very important, is, as I was saying, the sexual being that Jesus was. He would, I'm just going to use this Shuamura, it's a brown just to do some nice contouring, to give myself, you know, that sort of sexy body that Jesus had, like emaciated. I don't know if you can see, but I'm just going to, you know, draw on some ribs. There we go. Just because, you know, you probably don't get fed very well in Roman prison, and you know, and that was a good look. I mean, it was way before everyone started bodybuilding, and the Body Beautiful was much slender, like mine, really. Okay, so now one of the most important things, especially for this time of year for Jesus, is the blood. Now, whatever you can get your hands on, dew, oldest son, lamb's blood. I like to use a mixture of all three. And just for a bit of, you know, poetic fun, you know, a la William Blake, I like to apply it with a quill. Now, I like to start with the stigmatas. So we just push the quill into the middle, and if you start bleeding yourself, no problem, because it just as I was saying, it just sort of adds to the thing. Now, you don't want to go overboard with this at all, because we've seen a lot of bad stigmata since Jesus, and it's just not on. So just stab it in. Ow. Yeah, see? And you want to end up with something quite subtle like this. Now, lots of people make the mistake of doing the stigmata and then forgetting, but one of the most important bits is your little Doubting Thomas finger hole, which goes just under your last rib here. So you just stab that in again. Ow, ow, ow. Do you know what? I might embellish this one a bit more, because I am going to a party afterwards. And if you've been, you know, resurrected, people might. So there's just have that, and there's just enough skin flap for people to dig their finger in. So we're going to finish the whole look off with a nice bit of wig here. Because as we know from all the pictures, Jesus had long, luscious, gorgeous, Cheryl Cole-like hair. This here is I'll just mop up some of that blood. This here is a wig which actually is for Captain Jack Sparrow, but he's a bit like, you know, the Jesus of our time. I think Johnny Depp, you know, a charismatic actor who can entertain the masses. And, you know, we'll be talking about Johnny Depp in 1,000 years, like I am Jesus. So anyway, here's the look. I hope you'll be able to recreate it at home. I'm sorry I had to use expensive products, but Jesus knew what he was talking about, and he wanted this look to last. So thanks for watching. Bye.